Wow.
What a month.
Seriously, right?
Yeah.
An incredible, incredible creative month. Amazing, Pablo. I'm Brent Haynes with Woodsound Flutes.
And I'm Pablo Escalante with Woodsounds Flutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Back in 2018, Pablo bought his first flute for me. And from the very start, he and I had an ability to communicate, to connect that was unique.
Came natural.
Supernatural. And over the years, you've done so many projects for us that have been, I think, really a blessing to our clients. And I love it.
Well, I certainly hope so. It has been a blessing to me, Brent.
Yeah.
It's been a therapeutic. It's been so rewarding in so many ways.
Yeah.
The first thing that you and I had so much in common was our love for wood, for instruments.
And our ability to see the wood and to see its possibilities.
Yeah.
Right?
For sound.
Yeah.
For all this variety.
For beauty.
Yeah.
It's really been a rich opportunity for me, Pablo, working with you. I love everything we've been able to do together. It has been amazing. So 2 years ago, you did the logo. We did a little video. You suggested that I create an ad video for YouTube. And that took us down a whole nother path.
Yeah.
And we ended up making the connection ad video, which is so beautiful. Oh, man, I still love that original video so much because it really, for me, speaks to the heart of what we're trying to do from our humble little shop to people in the greater world. Is to help them make deeper connections with themselves, with others that they love and care about, and with nature.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
Well, and the thing is, that is what the flute invites us to do.
Yep.
You know, even in this trip, we go to a restaurant and we just finish the flute. So we bring it with us. And then we're in the parking lot playing the flute. And all of a sudden people come. Is that a burl?
yeah,
right?
Yeah, right?
It's like, yeah, smell it.
Yeah, you got to smell this wood.
And then he's like, honey, come. You have to smell this.
Yeah,
you know?
up at Sundance?
So
Oh my gosh.
so
That was so incredible.
Dude, we were in Arches. And I was like, my eyes closed playing this flute. And I finished, and all of a sudden, this huge applause. And I'm like, whoa, what? I thought it was like 5 of us here.
Yeah, it connects. It dives right into our spirit, our heart, our essence, our center.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call that. But for me, that's what the flute's always done. You know, Pablo, because I've told you so many times, I love making these instruments for people. And a lot of people, how can you send a flute out? I'm like, how can I not?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's like, how can I not send it out and let it go and create more beauty?
Well, the thing is, you fall in love with your creation, but you know from the go that this is for someone and you can't wait for this person to have this.
Yes, absolutely.
And for you to transmit that.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
And for them to get the opportunity to connect in such a beautiful way with everything around them through the instrument. I love it.
The intention is powerful, pure, and just beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Pablo. So Pablo's been here to Utah now. I think this is a 4th trip.
This is the 4th trip, yeah.
This all started back in 2021, I guess it was. And so about every 6 months or so, you've been coming out. And we started with thinking, oh, well, he'll come out for a week or so. And you coming out, living in our home, eating with us and dealing with all our stuff.
Man. It's just so intense in every way. But it's, and you know, every time I leave and it's like, I hope I can come back. And then when I do plan to come back, it's like, will it be as cool as the last time? And every time is even cooler.
Dude, right?
And it's like, how much cooler can this get?
Yeah, right? How much more fun?
Yeah.
Well, you know, so 1 second, I want to introduce people to your shamisen.
Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so Pablo makes an instrument called a shamisen, which is a Japanese 3-stringed instrument.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm a musician. I play many instruments My main instruments are the guitar and the sitar, and a singer-songwriter. Because my dad is a guitarist himself. So I grew up around these beautiful guitars. And before I was into the idea of playing them, I was admiring their beauty.
Yeah.
And just trying to look at the guitar, just like trying to get in there, you know?
And feeling all those curves.
And smelling the wood, everything. So from a very early age, I had this appreciation for these beautiful instruments. So not that I wanted to learn how to play, but every once in a while I would pick up the guitar or sit on my mom's piano and just like learn something by ear. And then finally, when I was about 20 and lived in Europe, I really got into the guitar. But since I was little, I also loved working with my hands.
Yep.
I loved working with my hands.
Yeah.
And it didn't take long when I started my musical journey to dream of making guitars someday, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I do know.
Yeah. And like 5 years ago, I finally bought some guitar kits and started working on them. And then in the beginning of the pandemic, every year or so, I start getting an itch for a different instrument. I have a long list. And a friend of mine in Austin had shown me this amazingly well-crafted Japanese instrument, because the Japanese are just amazing woodworkers.
Yeah, super precise.
And it was like a bit of a morning dream, where it's like, oh, there's that Japanese instrument that looks very particular. And I went and started going into it and found this guy in California who's like the ambassador of this instrument and this music and has done so much. And he wrote a book teaching you how to make them. And I was like...
Is that the guy that I've been talking with on Instagram?
No.
That's a different one.
That's a different one,
okay.
Who was also inspired by this.
Him.
Yeah. This guy is like the core of this, especially in the U.S.
What's his name?
Kyle Abbott.
Kyle Abbott.
Shout out. So I was like, well, maybe I don't have to spend $4,000 on a shamus. Maybe I can make one. That would be even funner. And Kyle has series, which I love watching, of him making shamisen with other people, teaching other people to make shamisen. Super well-made videos. And he makes them look like you can make one. And I was like, I think I can make it. You know?
Dude, I need to go watch some of his videos. Because I've seen some of this instrument, and me thinking I could make that right now is a stretch. The joinery is so intense and so tight.
Well, the thing is, how much perfection are you going for?
Yeah.
It's always that.
That's true.
Because Kyle made his first shamisen when he was like 17. And it's a working shamisen, but it has nothing to do. And then you hold the Japanese top-of-the-line shamisen, and it's like, well, this is even another level.
Yeah.
You know? So anyways, I bought, because of you as well, Brent, because as soon as I was introduced to Woodsounds, I started learning a lot about more varieties of wood.
Yeah, dude, you dove deep into our search page. That search page has, for a woodworker, in my opinion, I think that search page is super powerful.
The other day you were mentioning that a client of yours had a great Cocobolo and a Sassi.
Yeah.
And I knew I was like, oh, the one with the arrow.
Yeah, that's the one.
Dude,
that's the one.
Well, especially woods like Cocobolo, ironwood, some of these woods.
Yeah, and some of the
rosewood burls, the burls.
And some of the flutes they get so particular in their look too, right? Like that Cocobolo was very unique.
Well, we'll get into this guy later, because woods can vary so much.
So much.
Yeah. So I bought this huge blank of Honduran rosewood, because I was like, Honduran rosewood burl is the holy grail. So Honduran rosewood it's Honduran
going to be
rosewood.
good.
You know, it comes from, the burl comes from Honduran rosewood. I bought this thing, Brent. It was like a 4x4x36.
Yeah.
And I got this thing, I picked it up. I was like,
oh, it's denser than water.
I was like, this is metal dressed up as wood.
That's right.
It was deceivingly heavy. It was crazy. And I feel like I got a particularly dense, heavy Honduran rosewood. So I was like, well, I can My idea was that I was gonna try to make flutes. I bought this lathe, and I was like, okay, I got a lathe. Now I can turn a flute. How am I gonna bore it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And my father-in-law is a great woodworker, and he was having ideas, and I was like, no. Especially I like the big flutes.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If I want to cut it and empty it and glue it and all, okay, well, now I need a good bandsaw, I need a table router, all of this. No. So then I went into the shamisen. I bought that Honduran, and it's like, well, I'm going to make 2 shamisen out of this. And I went deep into it. Like deep. I bought some files, planes, chisels. Actually, right before that, I finished building my recording studio where I made all the furniture. And that was such a huge project that really inspired me and motivated me.
Yeah, got you introduced to
Oh,
woodworking.
so much. So much.
Yeah.
But anyways, the shamisen. And then I bought some Paduk. This is the second shamisen I made. And when I finished the headstock, I was like, I love it, but it's missing some details. Like I wanted this a little bigger, this part of so I'm gonna make another one. Spend like at least 60 hours making that alone.
And you're doing it all with hand files.
Yeah, right now I'm making one that I'm making video of.
Yeah.
Of the creation, and it's a crazy. So I made another headstock, got it to the point where it's like, okay, well now I can decide which one I'm gonna use. I made the head joint. I took pictures with both, and I ended up going with the original. Sticking to the original. And I decided to make a little statue because it's just such a beautiful piece, the headstock, This is called tenjin.
Tenjin.
And the pegs are called itom. Dude, every curve has a name. Every part of the instrument has a name. Every part of the Japanese instrument.
That's how you get good precision, Pablo. We've talking about voicing flutes.
Exactly.
Until I named every surface, I didn't know what I was working on.
Yeah. The itomaki are the pegs.
Uh-huh.
The sao is the neck. The do is the body. So anyways, I made this little statue, and I was going to make it for myself to put it in my studio. And before coming on this trip, I was like, I'll bring the statue. If he finds it awesome, I'll give it to him. If not, then no.
The second you pulled it out of your bag, I was like, oh. Like that gal said to Maddie in Arches, right? My eyes were like sending hearts out.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, but this joinery here, this is my favorite and probably the hardest part. The first shamisen I made, I was like dreading a little bit getting to this joint, but at the same time excited.
Yeah.
Because I had seen all the creation videos of Kyle. And when I got to it, it took me 4 days where I kept messing up and like having to put a little wedge. And after the 4th day, I got it. And it was not perfectly seamless, but I was happy. And I got a very bad hangover the next day. The day after. And Rosie was away. So I could go a little crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was so excited.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's a complex joint because it's a dovetail trapezoid.
Yeah. So basically, it's a complex. It's not just a complex angle.
Right.
But it's 2 complex angles coming together.
And the purpose is you don't want to see a glue line. It has to be seamless. Well, that's what you're aiming for. And also, it wants to be tight. So when you glue it, clamping it is very hard.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to get it tight glued and it clamps itself,
Which you almost have to do because of the shape of the materials now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I find ways to help it out a little bit just because I'm a paranoid psycho. But honestly, I don't think I do much to it.
Yeah.
But man, the thing is, there's these 2 sides.
Right.
You want them to sit right. Everything needs to sit right. It's very common that one side is sitting right and the other thing you're doing all the time is you're looking up against light, because you're going to see gaps that if you look like this, you don't see.
That's right.
It's crazy. Yeah, so one side is perfect, the other is not, and it's like, and then you have it almost perfect. One file. It's loose. You're like, What? It's like voicing.
With a file stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like voicing.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes one stroke.
That's
boom,
right. Yep.
gets the
Boom.
sweetness. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, makes me think of when we were voicing, I think it was this guy. When I first played it, you were like, not really, it's good, but it's not like,
Well,
it doesn't really have everything that it ought to have. Oh, hang on a second. I forgot to put alpha in. So I went in and put alpha in and
it's on video, Brent.
oh, awesome. They can watch this.
I'm pretty sure it's on video.
Awesome.
Because for that one, I hadn't said anything, but you knew it.
Oh, I knew.
And then you filed it. You
And
played
it's-
it, and you said, "Oh, there you are."
Yeah.
That's
Did I really
yeah,
say that?
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah,
yes,
you said
yes.
that. Yeah, yeah.
It's coming out good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Beautiful instrument. Yeah. It's gonna be lovely.
It sounded quite airy to me.
Yeah, I'm not super pleased with the sound yet either.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, there she is. Oh, she's gonna be a sweetheart.
Yeah, that sounded a lot better.
Awesome.
Oh, there you are,
Man.
sweetheart.
So the experience of coming here and at this point creating flutes as well.
Yeah.
You know, because some of these flutes I created myself.
Well, but that's the thing, Pablo, is when you started making videos with us, you already had an incredible talent with doing fine woodworking. We're not talking about building a cabinet or something like that. We're talking about detail that is way more intense. And there's no covers. Even with the chair, we were looking at Albert's where he has some screws going into the chair and then puts an inlay over the top of the screw. There's none of that on this. It's all just wood.
I feel it's really helped me.
Oh,
Here.
no question. No question.
Yeah.
And your ability to use the files properly and to get them to do what you want them to do. And I mean, that's the reason that when you first came out, I started right away teaching you some different things. And over the last few visits that you've come, you become a really good maker of flutes. And you've done an incredible job. And you helped get some clients' flutes out the door and into their hands while you were here this month. I appreciate that.
It was so crazy because I was making a flute, recording myself, then running to record you making a flute while working on someone else's flute as well. It's just like for 10 hours.
At least.
Every day.
At least.
A lot of that is on video as well.